Back when I used to stay at my grandmother's house, there was a mountain behind her home where a deity known as Ikemo Sama was worshipped. Given the lack of recreational areas around my grandmother's house, my grandfather and I often went fishing in a pond nearby the Ikemo Sama shrine. One day, when my grandparents went to town for shopping, I was left alone at home. As there was not much I could do, I decided to go fishing by myself. Typically, when I went to the pond with my grandfather, we used to take a long detour. But since I was alone that day, I chose a shortcut. This shortcut was sort of like the hiding place of Mei in Miyazaki Hayao's animation Totoro, just enough for one person to pass through, though my grandparents always told me not to take this shortcut without giving any reason. Being a headstrong kid, I didn't pay much heed. The entrance was circumscribed by artfully arranged stones, but disregarding this, I stepped in. After walking for a few minutes, I reached the pond and started fishing. About an hour later, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a figure in distance. Simultaneously, I felt as though I heard someone calling out. Given that this area was usually deserted, I felt a bit uneasy. However, when I investigated, I didn't see anything and concluded it must have been an illusion. Just as I was about to go back to fishing, I saw my grandpa's truck coming hurriedly towards me. I assumed he was there to pick me up, so I packed up my gear. But upon seeing the serious look on his face, I understood something wasn't right. Without saying a word, he pulled me into the truck, leaving behind my fishing rod and beloved water bottle. Once in the vehicle, I was covered with some sort of white cloth and strictly ordered not to lift it. The entire way home, my grandfather remained silent, muttering indistinct phrases. When we got home, he donned the white cloth that had been covering me, and my grandmother quickly replaced it with a new one. Accidentally, I noticed the gathered neighbors and the entire house draped in white cloth, leaving me baffled. Now, when I reflect, I presume the white cloths were prepared for an emergency like this. After all this, my grandmother commanded me to take a bath. I was led to a slightly larger room where an unfamiliar elderly man was present. He questioned me about where I had been, how long it took, and everything else. Then, he explained to me about Ikemo Sama. It was revered as the deity protecting the pond. However, since Ikemo Sama was still young and prone to loneliness, a child used to be sacrificially offered to the deity by the village in the past. These children would notably take the same shortcut that I did to reach the deity's dwelling. However, the era of live sacrifices had come to an end. Hence, whenever Ikemo Sama felt lonely, it would descend to the village and take away a child. To keep the child by its side always, it would sever their Achilles tendon, preventing them from escaping. To stop Ikemo Sama from coming out, the villagers arranged stones to seal the path. Initially, I took this as a grim joke, but everything changed when I looked at my own foot, utterly immobile with shock. My calf was sliced open, bleeding yet painless. Suddenly, the elderly man shouted, and I was surrounded by folks clad in white cloths. My grandmother performed some kind of unfamiliar ritual to stem the bleeding. I was told my condition was dangerous, and my grandfather decided to rush me home. I was loaded onto a light truck draped in the same white cloth, apparently because Ikemo Sama couldn't see white. Despite this, my calf was cut inside the house, probably because it wasn't completely covered. No incidents happened on our way back, which lightened my anxiety, and I let down my guard. The stuffy environment beneath the cloth led me to open the car window, and that's when the unsettling happened. I clearly heard a voice calling, "Kiyoe, Kiyoe." At that instant, I blacked out and woke up at my grandmother's house. After sharing this with her, she said it was all merely a dream. However, my water bottle and fishing equipment were missing, and no one believed my story despite the scar that lingered on my right leg. Even after several years, the wound looks fresh. The rain was heavy, like during a typhoon. It was super scary. Beyond the netted window, there's a welded iron window. On that night, I was reading with my desk facing the window. As I was reading, suddenly, a large black hand slammed directly onto the frosted glass. The entire hand was plastered on the glass, with the palm lines clearly visible. I was extremely confused. How did this hand manage to reach through the screen and the iron window to touch the glass? I was staring at the hand. It was really large, with a milky white palm and dark edges. It was raining heavily outside, and since the windows were closed, I couldn't see outside. However, my sixth sense told me that it belonged to a girl.
I felt very cold, and then I woke up because of the cold and opened my eyes. I was scared by the scene in front of me. There's a woman standing next to me, looking at me sleep with indifference, always staring at me. I was startled and then I said to her,
"Sorry, I'm here to cover the shift today. They said I could sleep here."
But that woman, after hearing what I said, still, her expression didn't change. Then she turned around and left, so I just watched her walking towards the wall, and then, out of nowhere, she simply disappeared in front of the wall. I was very surprised, yet I told myself, there might be a door there. It's just too dark because the lights were out, I couldn't see. I glanced at the door. There was a semi-transparent woman in white standing outside. A gut feeling told me, that woman standing outside was not a human being. I was in a state of fear at the time, so I didn't get a good look, but I felt like she was waving at me. My instinct at the moment was to duck down and hide beside the spare parts cabinet, continuously muttering prayers under my breath.
Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amitabha Buddha.
If you want to see my videos faster, please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates.